So yes, good morning. It is that time again. Fitness fragrance review time. And I'm currently working through the cologne fragrances I recently bought on offer from the Essential. And the one we are looking at today is the Essential 283. This is a clone, if you can read my terrible handwriting, of Creed Viking. Yes, Creed Viking. I absolutely love the bottle of this one. I like the red, bit of a contrast to the Aventus one, which is a black bottle, but they're always very, very classy. But the fragrance has kind of been a bit hit and miss. Look, it's been around a little bit of a time now, but it's a little bit more serious, a bit more grown up, a bit more sophisticated, and for some people, certainly not as good as Events. But I wanted to try this one as well to see what it smells like, to see maybe could I buy Viking one day. And yeah, it's got a very, very interesting note breakdown, so we'll go into that one in a little bit. But if you haven't seen my fitness fragrance reviews before, essentially I'm going to do a morning workout. So I'm going to go for a run, walk to the gym, do a gym workout, walk back, all while wearing this fragrance today. We're going to rank it on 5 categories. We'll look at its price slash value for money, its versatility, so how much you can use it in different situations. We'll look at its projections, how much I'm noticing it during my run. We'll also spray my room later to see how much it fills up a room. We're going to look at compliment factor, do I think people will say nice comments about it, and also its longevity. But before we do all that, let's get into what is actually in this clone of Creed Viking. And we are off, and what a gorgeous morning it is today. It's 7:15 and I'm already rocking the sunglasses, and even better, I am rocking the Essential 283, the clone of Creed Viking. So price slash value for money for all the Essential clones, if you just buy the 100ml bottle, £25. So do I think £25 for this fragrance here is good value for money? Well, the first thing with clones, of course, we want it to actually smell like the original, and I've smelt the original Creed Viking once, literally just once, and I'll be honest with you, it didn't really stand out to me on the day. I mean, you know, I remember obviously when you go to these shops you spend spray 5, 6, 7 sprays, and yeah, this one I never really remembered. It never stood out to me that I need to buy this one or get the clone of it. So just judging by reviews, people say this one does smell very, very similar, you know, almost a straight up smell that's identical. So I think we've got to say that ticks the box. That's the whole point of a clone fragrance. It smells like the original. So yes, price slash value for money in that sense, it's very good. Then we've got to go on to the depth and the complexity of this fragrance, and that's what this has got. There's so many different nuances, so many different facets to this. You know, you've got things like lavender and musk, which offers this more clean vibe. You've got floral components like the jasmine. You've got some citrus in here from the lemon and the bergamot. You've got a bit of vetiver, which I love vetiver, and vetiver can be in a lot of expensive fragrances as well. And for me, the big selling point of this is that spicy mint. Mint tends to be this sort of menthol toothpaste smell normally, but not in this fragrance. It's like, well, as it says, it's a bit spicy, and I find that very pleasant, and it works well alongside the clove that's in this fragrance. Nothing's too overpowering. I think the florals do tone down a bit of that spice, which I can find a bit offensive to my nose, and it's blended really well. So again, that's a big plus when we consider the price and value for money. And I think the final thing for me is, if you look at this genre of smell, it's a little bit more serious, a bit more grown up. And I always think, when you're thinking of those more suit and tie, serious type scents, in general you expect to pay 50, 60, 70 pounds for them, because they are a bit more sophisticated, not as juvenile and not as, you know, synthetic essentially. It's more for a gentleman. And if you're paying £25 for a gentlemanly, timeless scent, which I think this is, I don't think you can go wrong. This doesn't smell synthetic, even though it's a cheap formulation of it in any way, shape or form. And for that reason, it is good value for money. So I'm going to say, as a score for this one, price slash value for money, 8.5 out of 10. Look, it lacks a bit of, and we'll obviously touch on this later, a bit of versatility maybe for some people. And the performance on it so far, from my initial impressions, doesn't seem super strong, which sometimes you want with a clone. You always want it to be as strong as the original. This one, from my experience so far, certainly doesn't have that same strength and kick as the original Viking, but other than that, very good, so deserves a high score. Moving on to versatility then for the Essential 283. How much can you dress this one up, dress this one down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, the first sort of stereotype, let's say, that came to my mind when I smelled this fragrance was a sort of gentlemanly fragrance. So I'm picturing a man suit and tie, wears that pretty much all the time, whether he's at home or whether he's at the office. A little bit more of a serious character, certainly he's not interested in going on nights out, quite settled with a family, nice car, everything like that. And just as a respectable person in the community. This has got nothing about it for me that really suits dressing down. It's definitely not playful in any sense. And yeah, it's definitely more for someone who's not trying to be the life and soul of the party. Quite happy just to sit in the background and just smell like a gentleman. Is very much, again, the words I want to use is timeless. And to be honest, when you look at the notes in this, I think it's more suited to those transition seasons. I don't think it's going to really cut through the cold. Again, you've got some light citrus in this, you've got the lavender and the musk, which certainly are not notes that you think of like a cold, frosty day. And it's also not that sort of scent where I'd wear it in the high heat, because the spiciness and the clove would just be too aggressive. But a climate control environment, this is a great office scent. This feels like a perfect office scent for a gentleman who's probably in their 30s, maybe even 40s and up. I don't think there's no real sweetness. There's no things like vanilla, where a younger person might associate more with that fragrance. There's nothing like ambroxan in this, and that does also limit its versatility. This is not a workout scent, this is not a gym scent, this is not a dumb reach scent, it's not even a casual white t-shirt scent. For me, it's a daily signature scent, but more suited for transition seasons for an older gentleman who just feels respected. So I'm going to have to mark it down a little bit on versatility here, because normally I'd say, I'd want one fragrance to complement this scent, but actually I'd want two. I'd want a sweeter scent, like a more vanillic caramel scent, maybe a smoky boozy scent, and I'd also want a citrus, because this one certainly wouldn't be suited to a sunless day, or as I am now, warming up during a run. So I still feel like I'll need to spend a bit more, but of course with that price being quite cheap, I should have a little bit of money in reserve. But I'm going to give versatility and overall for this a 7 out of 10. It's fine, it's nothing wrong with it at all. It's got significant potential, but if you're someone like me who's here, there and everywhere at times, I definitely want something else to complement this. Well, two more to complement it for those colder and warmer days. Anyway, when we get back, we will talk about projection and how much I'm noticing it during my run. Workout done, it is now time to spray my room to test for projection. So if you haven't seen this before, essentially I'm seeing how much this fragrance has filled up a room. So if you were in an office, if a colleague came in, would they notice the smell? Or if you're at home in your own room, would a friend, family member notice the smell and go, you smell really good? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm also going to spray my arms 5 times on each side. So it's about 12 past 9. And yeah, essentially what I'm testing for here is the longevity later on. So obviously I'll be walking to the gym in a bit, do my workout, have a shower, and yeah, I just want to see how much this fragrance lasts. I won't be applying it again in that meantime. So let's head downstairs. Let's talk about projection, how much I noticed the fragrance during my run. Lovely. Bit of green tea for a green fragrance. So let's talk about projection of Viking. Essence Salt 283, I should say, the clone of Viking during my run. How much did I notice it? Well, to be honest with you, for about 2/3 of the run, yes, I did, but the final third of it, I didn't really notice it at all. It feels quite soft, this, and I don't know if that's the lavender and the musk just softening this fragrance down, but it actually seems to be projecting better than I realised, and I say that for one reason. Obviously, you would have just seen I just sprayed my room upstairs. My mum's just gone upstairs to have a shower. She's just got back from her run. She said to my dad, her husband, "Oh, you smell really nice." He said, "I haven't put anything on." I said, "Oh, is that you or Harry then?" And he said, "It must be Harry." And of course, that is because she's gone upstairs and my shower, or my room, is right next to the shower. And she just shouted down to say, "The spray smells very nice." And I've just told her it's the Essence Salt 283, which she has just smelled. So I reckon this is one where those green spicy notes may not feel as strong and aggressive as sometimes you can get in other fragrances. I think it's actually stronger than you think still, because, even though it's been tamed down, it is still there, and it's very soapy, it's very pleasant, and vetiver can be a strong note as well. There's some strong notes in this fragrance, and while they may not feel like they're projecting too much to you, I think around you other people will, and it seems like it's obviously filled up a room a little bit. So yeah, very interested going upstairs, seeing if I can smell it myself now, and then I'll give my score on projection. So sorry to cut you off while you're watching this riveting video. Got a bit of a confession to make. As I was trying to edit this, I realised I had a few clips missing. I could not find them. I assume I've put them in the recycling bin on my phone and they've disappeared for good. So I need to get the Creed Viking clone back here to do the next score. And the score that it would have been was for projection. What did I give it for projection? Well, It's very good. It took me by surprise when I did this one, and the score I gave for this round was actually a 9 out of 10. It's one that creeps up on you. It's got this strong green note in it, and it just sticks in the air. It's one that you don't really think it's going to, but it does have that lingering presence. It's certainly going to last on your skin, on your clothing, because of it being a little bit older, a bit more mature, and there's a lot of complexity going on here. Fantastic fragrance and a fantastic score for projection, which took me by surprise. Right, back in time, because this is actually the 11th of May. A little bit, about 2-3 weeks beforehand was when I was filming this. Harry. I also deleted compliment factor. This isn't going to plan, is it? But I'm hoping you are enjoying the video as you see me now in the future. And my hair's a little bit longer since then. So, what would I give the score as compliment factor? Well, in the video, I would have given it, and I think it's probably quite harsh, but it wouldn't make sense with the scores if I didn't give it this score. 6.5. Now, personally, I think I gave it for that is because even though I like it as someone who's into my fragrances, this is not one of those scents where you go, it's got that mass appeal, it's grown up, it's sophisticated. This is more for your fragrance enthusiasts, and that is why I like it. I think it's got that uniqueness about it, but I can also see why people wouldn't like this one. It's, to be honest with you, I'm 30 years old basically. I even think it's quite grown up for a 30-year-old like myself, particularly if you're not into fragrances. You need an appreciation of those sort of old school scents. While this isn't actually an old school release of fragrance, it's got that Creed DNA, which is meant to be more grown up, more masculine. And that's really the only thing you can mark it down for. I do also think it's not one that I'd be thinking about to dress up or to be a bit more seductive in those more occasions where you want to make a real statement and impress, let's say. You know, great for sort of networking, work environments, but maybe not so much for those more seductive modes where you want to be a bit more attractive to someone. But yeah, it's very good. I personally would give it more for that, but it wouldn't make sense with the video, so we're going to go back in time. That is all the clips, thankfully, that I did delete, but always something with these editing videos. Gotta learn, Harry, gotta learn. £10 past 12, so it's been about 3 hours since I applied the fragrance. Just had my shower. Time to see if we can still smell the Essence Vault 283. Okay, wow, I am pleasantly surprised. This has really taken me off guard. When I first got this one the other day in my order, it was the juice that looked so clear, and I thought, just based on the fact the projection wasn't huge today, I thought this would not have a lot of longevity. I was expecting it to be, yeah, quite low, but it's probably about 80-85% as strong as when I applied it 3 hours ago. And I'll be honest, I would have been quite happy initially, I think, today, if the longevity wasn't really strong, because I'm not a massive fan of spice. I think it's gone the opposite. I'm enjoying this fragrance more and more. It's still the spicy green notes that are hanging on with that soapy undertone, alongside that creaminess from the tonka bean. And I can't honestly believe how much I'm loving this. The more I'm smelling it, the more I'm liking it. And normally, to be honest, when I first smell something for the first time, I tend to keep that same opinion. But this one, generally, is going from a like to a love very quickly. It's already in love, to be honest. It is amazing. And look, I've only smelled Viking once, and I can't really remember it, as I touched upon earlier. I don't even care if this is a clone or not. Just the Essence Vault 283 in its own right just smells amazing to me. And the longevity on that is undoubtedly going to get you through the day. Look, it's still not suited to this sort of hot weather, but it's at a point where it's not too cloying, and that spice certainly isn't getting any more aggressive. It's just hanging on. It's just improving its longevity overall. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for longevity. This is becoming one of my favourite clone fragrances very quickly, and yeah, I'm very glad I bought this one, because it wasn't the first one on my list, but I'm so glad it is. It's becoming number one of the 6 clones I've recently bought. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll head back, we'll count up all the scores, and I'll give my overall thoughts. We are back, but what a day it has been. It's been an absolute gorgeous weather. It's 1:30. I've done 42,390 steps, and the best bit about it, I've been wearing this fragrance today, the Essence Vault 283, the Creed Viking clone. So what was the total score based on the 5 rounds? It's done well. It's going to do well. I've said some really good things about it. Got 41 out of 50. And I'll be honest with you, if I was just ranking this for myself personally, it probably would have even got more than 41. I probably would have given more for a compliment factor because actually it does suit me more than I realised. And maybe even that price I could have potentially bumped up to a 10. I think this is amazing. I think it's really good. And I did say earlier, look how clear the juice is. It looks like it's not going to have any performance. And it did feel quite tame initially on that projection, but the longevity on this, it's still there, very much so, but the projection's not bad either. As I said, my mum mentioned it more than maybe you realise. I think it's going to be one of those that creeps up on you more than you think, and I really like this. I think the opening, and I'm just getting it now, maybe that sort of citrus blast that you get, and that bit of spiciness, not my favourite, but once it dries down, once you get into that tonka bean that maybe just sort of add that creamy edge, smooths the edges off, it makes a lovely soapy fragrance alongside that vetiver, the musk and the lavender. It's really good. I mean, look, if this smells identical, okay, I can't 100% confirm that because I've not really smelt Viking as the original apart from one occasion. I prefer it to Aventus. I think it's a lot nicer than Aventus. I think it's more of a grown-up smell. I can see why it's not as popular, because some of these notes here are definitely a little bit more divisive, particularly those spices. But if you want something that's got a slight floral component, it's got a lot of depth, a lot of complexity about it, and something that you just want to dress up a bit more, then this will be great. It is really good. And it kind of asked myself the question, has this clone made me want to buy Creed Viking more, or does it make me want to buy it less? Because again, even if this doesn't smell like it, I think this is an amazing fragrance in its own right. And then again, if it does smell really like Viking, do I need to spend that much money now because this is so good? It's such a good clone of it. On the flip side though, if I love it that much, should I just go and get the really good one? So all these decisions go through my head now, but all I can say is, yeah, I definitely recommend this one for anyone who wants a more timeless gentlemanly scent because it's a stunner. It's a real stunner. I'm so glad I bought that one as well. So I've got a couple more clone fragrances obviously to go in terms of my reviews. 2 more to go just to let you know. One is a clone of Tom Ford Noir, which, yeah, doesn't really get talked about quite as much. Noir Extreme obviously gets a little bit more attention. So I'll be doing that one. Again, I've got work the next few days. I'll be doing that probably at the weekend, that one. And yeah, I've got another one as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. This is the problem. When you buy too many fragrances, you almost forget. But it is Creed Millesime Imperial. So they're the next 2 we'll do. There'll be plenty more videos coming out. There'll be some drive-alongs as well in the next few days. We are going to do a few more live sort of fitness fragrance reviews, so you can join me on one of the segments, one of the sections we talk about. But thank you very much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Going to go enjoy the sunshine now. So yeah, I'll catch you later.